Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. And then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team. And it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished. I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year. So I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible.
Caitlin Clark just made WNBA history. She broke the single-season assists record. She led the Indiana Fever to their first 20-win season in almost a decade. She was the first rookie to get a triple-double, and she won Rookie of the Year. But here's the crazy part. She didn't win unanimous. One voter picked someone else.
Clark was the first one in the tunnel. Her long year of basketball over. She was chosen #1 in the WNBA draft. Last night, we saw Caitlin Clark take the last shot of her season, one that ended with an 87-81 loss to the Sun in Game 2 of the first round of the playoffs, and took a team that had won 30 combined games over the previous 4 years to its first playoff berth since 2016. Clark had a rookie record-setting year. Here she is.
Does that one vote matter? You know what's even crazier? Clark was dominating the league like a veteran. She was throwing passes that made defenders dizzy, scoring like it was easy, and grabbing rebounds left and right.
Yeah, a year this far.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA as the most impactful women's basketball player we've seen in a generation.
All right, Caitlin finally getting a moment to breathe, right? As she just mentioned, didn't even get to reflect it all on her college career and just jumped right into things and had an epic season.
And it took a combination of things, both on and off the court. Off the court, attendance, viewership. On the court, breaking the single-season scoring record or the all-time scoring record in college.
Everyone was talking about her. It seemed like she was unstoppable. When it came time for the Rookie of the Year vote, people thought it was a no-brainer. Clark had this in the bag, right? Wrong. One voter decided to go against the crowd. Can you believe it? One person looked at all Clark did and said, "Nah, I'm picking someone else." That's insane. But here's the big question. Does this one vote actually change anything for Caitlin Clark? You know how every hero needs a challenge to overcome? Well, Caitlin Clark just got hers. This non-unanimous vote isn't just a blip. It could be the fuel that drives her to heights we can't even imagine.
That there was a group, a big three with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell as well. But what she has been able to do has transcended not just women's basketball, but it's women's sport. After Olympic break, you mentioned it, Molly. It's like finally she can wait, waiting to exhale.
Totally.
23, 9, and 8 were her averages, bringing the Fever to the playoffs. I know the only other athletes that I can see recently, the past generation, that have moved the needle like this, maybe Serena Williams, absolutely. Anytime she played, anytime she won titles, straight up viewership, box office.
Are we witnessing the birth of a basketball legend's origin story? Let's rewind a bit and look at Clark's journey. She didn't just show up in the WNBA and start dominating. This girl has been a basketball prodigy since forever. In college, she was unstoppable. She was breaking records left and right, making shots that had people's jaws on the floor. Everyone was talking about her before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court.
Arenas were upgraded, viewership through the roofs. But then when it comes to the basketball, what she was able to do was truly impressive. But now you see her in the WNBA, and you can say the exact same thing. Most impactful that we've seen in women's basketball for those same two reasons. She averaged 19 and 8. For some context, I won Rookie of the Year. I think I averaged 12. It is a huge feat to get those types of numbers.
Then comes draft day. The hype around Clark was insane. People were acting like she was going to save the whole league single-handedly. That's a lot of pressure for anyone, let alone a rookie. But you know what? Clark didn't just meet those expectations, she blew them out of the water. From her very first game, Clark was playing like she'd been in the league for years. She was making passes that had defenders spinning in circles. She was scoring from anywhere on the court like it was no big deal. And rebounds? She was grabbing them like she had magnets in her hand. The fans were going crazy. Every game, more and more people were showing up wearing Clark jerseys. Social media was exploding with Clark highlights. It seemed like everyone was jumping on the Caitlin Clark bandwagon.
35 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,035. Merchandise sales are up 450%.
But here's where things get interesting. Just when it looked like Clark's story was going to be a simple rookie comes in and dominates tale, we got this plot twist, the Rookie of the Year vote. It should have been a slam dunk, right? Clark wins unanimously. Everyone celebrates. End of story. Except that's not what happened. One voter looked at everything Clark did this season and said, "Nah, I'm picking someone else."
There's an incredible level of gratitude that should be accorded to this young lady with what she did for the sport. That's not to take anything away from anybody else. First of all, let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude. But I often argue, when I've argued with folks about this, you think NBA players shouldn't be thankful to Magic Johnson? You think NBA players shouldn't be thankful to Larry Bird? You think NBA players shouldn't be thankful to Michael Jordan?
It's like if someone watched The Wizard of Oz and decided the star of the movie was Toto. Now, this is where Clark's story gets really interesting, because this isn't just about an award anymore. This is about how Clark responds to this unexpected challenge. Does she use it as motivation? Does it make her question herself? Or does she just shrug it off and keep being amazing? Think about it. All the great sports stories have moments like this. Michael Jordan getting cut from his high school team. Tom Brady being picked 199th in the draft. These moments where someone doubts them, and they use that doubt as fuel to become legends. So now we're all watching to see what Clark does next. Does she come back next season and play even better? Does she use this as motivation to prove that one voter wrong? Or does she just keep doing what she's been doing?
What this person did. And when you take that into consideration and you think about what the WNBA is on course to continue to do, how women's basketball, the attention, the allure, are there other players in the WNBA that are better? Yes, at the moment, okay? But they never did for the league in terms of attention, how all of a sudden that's in the mind's eye of everybody else. You clearly have this person, Caitlin Clark, to thank for it.
Breaking records and amazing fans. Here's the thing about sports heroes. They're not just about talent. They're about overcoming challenges. They're about proving people wrong. And now, Caitlin Clark has her challenge. She has her moment of doubt to overcome. So Clark's got her challenge. But here's the real kicker. It came from the most unexpected place. One lone voter decided to shake things up. Now everyone's wondering, was this just a random blip, or did it just change the whole game for Clark's future? Let's break down what happened with this Rookie of the Year vote.
A first team all WNBA, okay? Fourth in the league in MVP voting. And we see all of these things. Certainly she's gonna be a great player. Merchandise sales are up 450% for the WNBA, according to Fanatics. So take those things into consideration. Yes, we're looking at the unanimous choice for AP Rookie of the Year. I think we see that. We see the capability on the basketball court. She can shoot, she can handle, she certainly can pass, okay? I look at it from that standpoint, and I say mad respect.
You've got 67 sports writers and broadcasters voting on who deserves this award. These are the same folks who picked the MVP, so they know their stuff. Now, imagine you're in a room with 66 people all pointing at Caitlin Clark, saying she's the Rookie of the Year. But then there's that one person in the corner who's like, nah, I'm going with Angel Reese. Can you believe it? 66 votes for Clark, 1 for Reese. It's like everyone agreeing the sky is blue, and then one person saying, actually, I think it's green today.
And then the clock rolls into the NCAA tournament. And by the NCAA tournament, I was like, this girl's the biggest star in sports. When practice starts back up in October and games start back up in early November or late October, she's now the biggest star in college sports, and she's playing at Iowa.
People lost their minds when they heard that. Fans were all over social media, asking who this voter was and what they were thinking. Even the analysts were scratching their head. Now let's talk about Angel Reese for a second. She had a killer rookie season too. She led the league in rebounds per game and broke the rookie record for double-double. That's impressive stuff. But was it enough to steal a vote from Clark? Most people don't think so. One analyst even said, the fact that someone selected her Reese over the Fever star guard for Arodi is head-scratching, to say the least. That's putting it mildly. People were going crazy trying to figure out who this mystery voter was. Some folks even think it might be the same person who put Reese in 4th place for the MVP vote. Talk about stirring the pot.
We just watched one of the most unique experiences in the history of sports. And I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark experience. Here's the excuse I'm going to give them, and this is the bow I'm gonna put on this whole conversation. And this is a sympathetic take towards everybody on the Indiana Fever. And it's gone on non-stop. The Caitlin Clark experience.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This vote isn't just about an award anymore. It's become this whole subplot in the Clark versus Reese rivalry. People are already talking about how this might affect how we look at their careers down the line. It's like the start of a sports movie, where one little thing happens that sets up the whole story. Now, you might be thinking, does this one vote really matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Some people are saying it's no big deal, that Clark's future accomplishments will make everyone forget about this.
No, it's never happened in America. And then when you throw on the animus and the jealousy and the media being against her, February, March of 2024, it's like, holy cow, she's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
But others think this might be the chip on her shoulder that pushes her to even greater height. One analyst put it this way: Caitlin Clark is the most valuable, most important person in the WNBA this year and should have been unanimous Rookie of the Year. That's some high praise right there. It shows you just how big of an impact Clark had in her first season. Now, you might think one vote doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but what if I told you that a single vote once changed how we remember one of the greatest centers in NBA history? Yeah, I'm talking about Shaq, and trust me, this story's wild. See, back in 2000, Shaquille O'Neal was absolutely dominating the league. He was unstoppable, like a freight train with basketball skills. Everyone thought he'd win MVP unanimously. But guess what? One voter decided to go rogue and picked someone else. And you know what? Shaq's still salty about it to this day. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this going to be Caitlin Clark's Shaq moment? Are we going to be talking about this one vote years from now?
And then obviously you have Angel Reese still trolling her, and the people in the media being uncomfortable, and Paige Beckers is really the best player, and Paige Beckers, she understands her white privilege. She ain't break my record. I was playing with a real size basketball. She wasn't. All of that. And it's like, oh, wow.
Or is it just going to be a funny little footnote in her amazing career? Some people are saying this vote doesn't matter at all. They're like, Clark's going to win so many awards, she won't even remember this one in a few years. And yeah, that makes sense. I mean, have you seen her play? She's not slowing down anytime soon. But then you've got the other side. They're saying this vote might be the thing that lights a fire under Clark. You know how some athletes use every little slight as motivation? This could be Clark's, and I took that personally moment. Imagine her coming back next season, playing even better, just to prove that one voter wrong. Here's the thing though, how Clark reacts to this could be a big deal.
Caitlin Clark doesn't. And so here's a woman that becomes the biggest star in sports earlier this year, February, around that time. Goes all the way through the NCAA tournament, ends in early April. The next week, or within a week or 10 days, they have the WNBA draft, and ratings fly through the roof.
Does she brush it off like it's no big deal? Or does she use it as fuel? Because how she handles this could change how fans see her. If she comes out next season and just dominates even more, people might look back at this vote and be like, that was the moment that turned Clark into a legend. But let's be real for a second. In the long run, is anyone really going to care about this one vote?
That brother played center. In Game 6 when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't go. Yeah. And what did Michael Cooper say on the plane when they ultimately revealed it? He said, Magic Johnson said to the team, have no fear, the Magic Man is here. But he still would not have been able to propel the league to new heights without the assistance of Larry Bird. And so you had an abundance of black players. Did it take that in order for Magic's doing it on his own? Magic's already a champion. Why it takes all of this in order to get the attention that we deserve?
I mean, Clark's already breaking records left and right. She's changing the game. One analyst even said, Caitlin Clark is the most valuable, most important person in the WNBA this year. That's huge. So yeah, this vote got people talking. It stirred up some drama. But at the end of the day, it's probably going to be just a blip on Clark's radar. She's got bigger fish to fry. She's out there changing the game, bringing in new fans, and making history. You know what's crazy? We're sitting here talking about one vote when Clark's out there doing things we've never seen before. She's not just playing basketball, she's redefining it, and that's what people are going to remember. All right, let's wrap this up.
Hey, women should compete like this. On this very stage right here, we talked about how, hey, you said protect the golden goose. You said these words right here on First Take.
Yes, I did. I feel there were people in the WNBA that felt that way. I just didn't think it was wrong.
No, Stephen.
I just did. I said some.
No. This is the issue that we had to be educated to, as it is right now.
What do you mean how the WNBA is? Explain.
People perceive the WNBA to be a joke, but now we're seeing it's now a juggernaut.
That were like, well, damn. As great as Larry Bird ended up proving to be, there was still some resentment towards him because you felt like
Caitlin Clark's rookie season, absolutely insane. Breaking records, making history, and changing the game. But that one vote, it's like a tiny pebble in her shoe. Sure, it's annoying, but is it gonna stop her? No way! Here's the thing about sports awards. They're not always clear-cut. That's why we get these crazy debates. One person thinks differently, and suddenly everyone's talking. But you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what great athletes need. Think about it. Clark's already a superstar, but now she's got something to prove. That one vote might just be the spark that turns her into a legend. So yeah, it matters, but not in the way you might think. It's not about the award anymore. It's about what Clark does next. And something tells me, we ain't seen nothing yet.